Formula One is a constant race against time, not just on track but off track. We're chasing tenths of seconds.
The countdown really begins when the checkered flag drops on a Sunday. Our engineers pull apart the data from that race in so much detail to help understand what we need to carry forward to the next race.
Each circuit is different, it has its own challenges, it has its own characteristics, whether from the type of corner or from the altitude that it's at. So the car is bespoke to each circuit that we visit. Up to 1,000 components could change from one race to the next.
It's always about this race to manufacture the next designs to make it more adapt to the next circuit. So let's say it's a new front wing for the next race. There are hundreds of hours of compute resource and lots of brain power going to making sure that design is the best it can possibly be.
In total, there are 850 people working to one goal, and that's of course winning.
If we can't manufacture the next components in time, all that will be wasted.
For me, the perfect lab doesn't exist. When you start looking into the data, there are always things you can improve.
We're a data-driven business, and that data is our lifeblood in terms of how we develop and optimize these cars.
With 20 plus races a year, the car changes every race, our software changes every race, and as a result, our infrastructure has to change every race. Without having solutions from HPE, we can't drive those processes. CFD, aerodynamics, vehicle dynamics, the simulations. Being software defined, we can bring new apps into play, we can bring new VMs, storage, networking. All of that can be added, removed, all on the fly, saving massive amounts of time.
That race weekend, when we hit the circuit, that is our first chance to see at full scale how those components are going to perform. Is it going to be reflected with what we saw in our theory? That's where the data comes face to face with the real world.
Working with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is a hugely beneficial partnership for us. We're able to be at the cutting edge of technology in a highly technical, highly stressed environment that is no bigger challenge than Formula One. It's that marriage between creativity and data that has allowed us to achieve the success that we have over recent years.
Being in the car, driving it on the limit, that is the best thing out there.
HPE is fast, quick to market, just like we are.
They have that same passion to win.
It's that innovation and creativity that ultimately achieves winning Grand Prix.
What a cool video. Hey Stéphane, it's always when I see this, I feel the energy, the speed, the need for speed, and also the technology that is around the driver. And one of the key elements is these drivers, they start really young. So did you do some karting, or what did you do, Stéphane, when you were really young?
Yeah, it's amazing. I dreamt as a kid to be a Formula One driver. Obviously, it's quite an expensive passion, and in fact, I'm the only kid in my family. Okay. I have two half brothers. They are 12 and 11 years older than me. So I was raised alone, and in books and all those kind of things. And my mother said, "You need to go to the Scouts to toughen up."
To toughen up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been raised. I'm the third. I have two older sisters. And so I think my mom she also sent me to the Scouts to say, Patrick, I need to toughen up, be in the woods, discover the Scout spirit. And my mom is, I've been raised as a real Belgian. She's from Wallonia, from Namur, Rue de Fer in Namur. And so French speaking. And my dad from Antwerp, so I've been sent to the French Antwerp Scouts, and I believe you've been in the same Scouts as I did.
A little bit earlier than you, and obviously we have a kind of common past. In fact, my grandfather was selling woods in Verviers,
okay,
and then he moved to Antwerp, so half of my family is speaking French and half is speaking Flemish, and so I went to those French-speaking Scouts.
So that's quite funny because we also have some picture. I think that's you.
That's me, indeed.
Because Scouts is for us, and we will quickly talk about that. It's about also some values that in partnership and also in the value we bring to our customers. is really important. And it's quite funny to see you because it's a black and white picture. I see because you've been active quite.
Yeah, it was in the 70s, and the important thing there is the qualification of what you do. You had those badges where you proved that you were good in sport things or in nature things or in making knots.
Like we have badges, we have also the expertise with our technology experts.
Exactly,
that's
what
we constantly train, and we invest a lot of money also at Xylos to really invest in that expertise because it's always evolving. And it's a bit like with the Skies, with the badges on that we had. And I'm a bit curious because in the Scouts, we also have a name. And so, Stéphane, what was your Scout's name, if I may ask?
Yeah, as Scout, I was Seahorse.
Seahorse, okay.
Yeah. And the main thing about seahorses is that the male is taking care of the kids. Mm-hmm. So that's maybe why I'm taking care of the family. Huh?
Yeah, and like in your...
What was yours?
Like in your role, you're in fact also the leader of the pack, the HPE pack.
One of
them. But no, so for me it was Lycaon Résolu, which I also understood it's a sort of wolf.
It's a wolf, come on, Patrick.
For me it's a wolf.
It's a wild dog.
It's a wild dog, honestly, but my fantasy made it a wolf, but it's in fact that's true, it's a wild dog. And which is really working together to hunt. And I think it's one of the key elements also in Scouts is working together, and also in our partnership it's really about combining the both strengths. And how do you see that for customers? Because Xylos we're a company that exists for 37 years. You told me backstage that you also
worked with your dad.
With my dad, and I wasn't born yet. So that is quite cool, and also showing the loyalty, which is also something in Scouts, which is quite important. But how do we translate that to customer value?
Well, for me, it's easy. It's combining strengths, as you said. And Xylos can do quite some things that a company like HPE cannot do. Yeah. You bring added value to our products and solutions with your own solutions, with your own services, with third-party products, with flexibility, with customer centricity. All those kind of things where we combine forces and we bring full solutions to the market thanks to you.
Yeah, and we were working in the office, and we have a huge amount of boxes with Aruba devices. Yeah. And one of the things we do great together is that we use your technology expertise and innovation, as we see in Formula 1, to really implement it. And one of the Aruba devices for a big customer where they outsourced their complete connectivity to us, because they said, we will have peace of mind. We want to have great devices, great technology, and we want to have a partner that implements it, but also maintains it, because I think that's quite important these days. So companies and our customers can focus on their core business and look for ways that technology can improve their productivity, customer experience.
But you said one important thing too, amongst all the others, and it's about the peace of mind. And what we have in IT infrastructure is that in fact you want to forget about it. You want to forget about the servers, you want to forget about the storage, you want to forget about connectivity. It needs to be ubiquitous, it needs to be there, and it needs to be flawless. Yeah? And when I started, it was a big debate about spending money on innovation and less on operations. Yeah. And now, 35 years later, it's still the same debate.
It's still the same debate? So
companies are still asking, how can I do more of my budget in innovation and less in operations?
Yeah, I know. I think that's a nice transition, but still coming to the core values is creating that peace of mind, but also daring, like at the Scout, to do new things, to discover, to innovate,
to go out of your comfort zone.
Out of your comfort zone, and I think that's for us. We've been in the same Scouts in different time periods, but I think that's also the value we bring to our customers, is to advise them on what is the best technology for their situation, and how can it be as cost efficient as possible.
And that's where you need to go out of the comfort zone from time to time. So the Scouts was a very good learning experience.
Yeah, but funny that we've been to the same one, and these values of knowledge is super important.
It's super important.
That's the value we bring. It's not only that device. it's how you use it.
Yeah.
That is quite key, and that is bringing us, of course, back to Formula One.
Back to Formula One is amazing, Patrick. I know we have a common passion.
Yeah.
There. And
who's your favorite driver? Tell me it.
Well, I like the bad boys. So
the bad boys?
I like Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I like Max.
Yeah.
He always brings some animo in the debate. So yeah.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. He's an aggressive, assertive driver.
Over the top from time to time, but okay, that's also nice to see.
You need that passion. Oh, yeah,
so you have 23 Grand Prix in a season.
Yeah.
You know that. And you know that they need to improve the performance of the car by 1/10 of a second on each and single race.
Yeah.
If you take the pole position of Lewis Hamilton of the first race of the season, with the next season, he's last on the grid. So if you don't evolve, you're toast.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah, but I think it's we have that passion for Formula One, and you know, the driver needs to be really focused on winning that game, but it's supported by a lot of technology, a lot of people, and just want to focus on that race and seeing what our competitors doing on the racetrack, accelerating, braking, and wants to have all the technology supporting him.
So he is for innovation, and then all the IT needs to do the operations.
Yeah.
And we capture data. On a Formula One car, you have more than 300 sensors. They generate in a week about 50 petabytes of data.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the elements where also we see that we've acquired a few years ago Lahaye, which is a software company, but also doing Internet of Things. Is where how can we help companies? We have one case where we help a manufacturing company with sensors on saying how can we do predictive maintenance.
Yeah.
And another example is on a bus, a public bus, how can you put sensors on the doors, for example? Because, you can have a great working bus, but if the doors aren't working, you can't use it. And so how can you see at a certain moment, or based on data, is it going slower? Do we need to do predictive maintenance so the bus doesn't break down? I guess a bus is a bit slower than the Formula One car.
Should be. And that's exactly also what we do with InfoSight, which is an HPE solution for infrastructure, where you have sensors in the servers, in the storage, they capture data, they bring it together in a data lake. Yeah. All the customers worldwide have their data combined in a single data lake, and we look at the full stack, also applications, and we send to customer some advice, do this, do that, instead of waiting for a problem to happen, you anticipate the problem, and you have a more up and running infrastructure.
Yeah, I totally agree. For me, it's bringing me back to how can you use that data to trigger you to make better business decisions, because we have plenty of reports. We can create a lot of reports, but how do we really make a business command center? And like in Formula One, it's really where you can watch the live data to really a bit anticipate, calculate. I remember a race where the Mercedes team really calculated that based on the frequency of the tires and the usage, and also the competitor, that after 20 rounds they would be ahead. So I think it's really, and it's the same about how can you use that, and you need to be relaxed about the IT infrastructure. So you can really focus on the things where you can make a difference, and that's beat your competition, improve that customer engagement, and for us it's really about putting that driver, surrounding him by all the means.
And there is quite some work to do there. A recent study showed that 85% of the data is unused by companies to make decisions, to get to outcomes, to get to additional business. For me, it's the field of development for the 10 years to come. What to do with your data, how to come to outcomes.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think one of the key elements we see in the projects we do around data is the understanding of the business. You need to understand Formula One. You need to understand how air can have a huge impact, and so that is quite essential. Is combining, having a good IT infrastructure, combining also with a business alignment and a business understanding, and then ensuring that the knowledge of the users in the company around how they can adopt IT data management also increases. You know, it's a bit about how we have these digital coaches at Axelis, where we coach people on their digital skills. Because on data you need to understand, okay, what is a data factory? How can you need to have some basic understanding to really adopt it and apply it to the fullest. And for me, innovation in Formula One is it's really a driver to push companies also to adopt new ways of working, because they're always a few years ahead.
Yeah, they are.
In the market.
I think, you know, we are partners together in digital transformation, and there is a lot to do for our customers. Let me give you one anecdote. Yeah? My daughter, her boyfriend, well, he's a Scouts leader. And he came back this summer and he had a nasty virus. Yeah? So he was tested positive. And then we had those contact tracers contacting us, and we had to get tested here in Antwerp in Test Sporno.
Okay.
And you get a 16-digit code from the contact tracer. And then you put it into a machine to get a QR code to go test it. And it was always saying an existing code. An existing Rijksregister number. Yeah? You can imagine that. It was failing. And then when you call the help desk, they tell you, yeah, but it's two different IT systems. They are not linked together. We're the 21st century. And those kind of things are not working yet. Yeah. And so we are there to coach and to help our customers to progress on the digital transformation agenda.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the key elements is you know, HPE and also Axelis, we exist for a long time, so we've been also required to you know, to transform, to innovate, and that's also, we want to bring also that expertise to our customers, and I think that is also the magic in our collaboration, and also in the advice we give to our customers to really help them with digitizing, because we always thought that technology would make everything easier.
Yeah. It's just one of the pillars. Yeah? The way we look at digital transformation, it's a three-pillar story. Yeah. You have people, you have technology, and you have finance. Yes. You need to have the knowledge, you need to have the right technology, and you need to be able to invest in it. And so at HPE, we develop our platforms like that. People, we have 30,000 engineers worldwide to help, combined with those of your company, Patrick. Yeah. So, and then on technology, we invest in servers and storage, we invest in software platforms, we invest in all the Green Lake stuff, high performance computing, very hot nowadays, and obviously financing. Yeah, it's the way of as a service, but also leasing and those kind of solutions.
I think that's you know, we need to wrap up. Yeah. But you know, it's about really gaining a competitive advantage with being cost efficient. And I think you're looking to the hybrid world and the hybrid cloud, and really adopting it and implementing it with quality, and also with certain speed, because we see that speed in Formula One also, or in the games we played at the Scouts, were really quite important to win, and that's what we love to do.
Indeed, we want our customers to be Formula One kings.
Yes, indeed. Fantastic talking to you,
Thank
Stéphane.
you. I cannot shake a hand.
No, we can't shake
hands.
Not
allowed, but...
and maybe one final question, Stéphane. Who will win next year Formula One, the championship?
Well, I think it will be Hamilton again. Max? No, it will be Hamilton, because he is very well supported by Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Ah, okay. Thank you very much.
Digital transformation is not an option, it's a requirement. And Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is helping organizations of all sizes navigate and accelerate their digital transformation journey.
When we had this pandemic come through, one of the things that came to mind was, I hope we can continue to have our platforms reliable and consistent, and that's what we got.
We use supercomputing to solve this health crisis, and we will.
These new technologies allow us to push our decision-making closer to the edge.
Add AI to this, and we're starting to have really powerful toolkit to start predicting the future.
Some people think that this is not possible. Now it's a reality.
First day opening, we had 0 tickets, 0 problems. It was a big day for us. When we make our services affordable, we really free them up to connect to the rest of the world and explore.
In today's ever-changing business environment, everybody needs to have the ability to react fast.
The HPE Green Lake environment for Auckland Council allows us to have the flexibility to scale up and scale down to suit whichever business requirement gets thrown at us.
The world has to move towards renewable energy, and with the advent of supercomputers, we can now do all this testing virtually.
If we didn't have high-performance computers, we couldn't do the science at all.
We're using very sophisticated AI tools to probe the data, help preserve this diverse, beautiful planet for future generations.
HPE is helping customers deliver the right business outcomes from all their data, from edge to cloud, because we have the right strategy, technology, expertise, and partners. HPE, the edge to cloud platform as a service company.